and that is Mr. Vance Patterson. Vance, come on up.
Oh, thank you, Matthew. We were exhibiting down at the gun show down in Franklin, and if any of you have seen my truck, I've got these boards on it, and it was like driving a billboard up here. It was quite incredible with all the winds that you've got and everything. It is great to be here. We tried hard to get here, and we made it. My name is Vance Patterson. I'm a neighbor of yours down in Burke County. I'm a father of 4, married 37 years to my wife, Mary Jo. I am a Tea Party Republican. And by that, I mean I initiated the first Tea Party down in Burke County back in 2009. It was the first time I ever spoke in public. I stepped up to the microphone in front of 500 people and said, if you haven't been in small business, you don't know taxes. I'm a Republican, having voted the first time for Nixon back in 1972. And that kind of gives me my qualifications. I've been voting conservative ever since. I am an American businessman, and by that I mean I use American ingenuity, the American free enterprise system, and the American work ethic to start companies and create jobs. I've started 16 companies. 2 of those companies made the Inc. 500 list for the 500 fastest growing companies in America, and twice I've been Entrepreneur of the Year finalist here in our Southeast region. Now, why am I running for Congress? I want to work for my family, for your family, and save America for our future generations. The generations we'll never meet. There are a lot of problems right now. Being a serial entrepreneur, I look at a problem and I see an opportunity. But being a businessman, I know that you cannot attack all problems at once. In business, we look for the problem that is sticking up the highest, the nail that is standing up the tallest, and we pound that one down first. Well, in Western North Carolina, the nail that is standing up the tallest is jobs. We need jobs, good-paying jobs, jobs that cannot be exported. My campaign is about jobs, prosperity, now, and the fact that we don't have to wait. You see, manufacturing is coming back. I know I'm a manufacturer, and I've been seeing it happen for a year now. Now, the companies that are coming back are not the same as the ones that left. They're not 500 to 1,000 employee companies. They're more like my company, 25 to 100 employees. These are companies that pay better, have better benefits, like profit sharing. The company cares more about the employees, and the employees care more about the company. And they're jobs that cannot be exported. Now, here's some bad news. Nobody knows we're here. I've said this before, half the state doesn't know we're here because we're west of I-77. We need to not only prepare our district with good communications, good education, transportation, and recreation, but we also need to have a serious, aggressive business plan to package our district, our Western North Carolina, and take it to the rest of the country and around the world to pull those jobs in. Back when I started running for this office, back in August, the first thing I did was put together a business plan, a jobs plan, to bring jobs here. I have been working that plan for 6 months now. You all haven't hired me yet, but when you start a company, you don't wait for the doors to open before you go to work. I started working on this. I've been to the Commerce Department in Raleigh and in Washington to find out what kind of programs they have that are available, what kind of resources. Not grants and funding and things like that, which tie us up to what they want to do in Washington, but what resources they have in place. And then I went around to all 17 counties, and I've talked to the county managers, because the county managers know what's going on in the county, and they've got a passion for what happens there. I wanted to find out what kind of resources they had, what kind of work ethic that people have, what kind of jobs they were looking for, because not everybody wants smokestack manufacturing. Some want health care, some want services, education, research, agriculture, construction, and on and on. So it's important to know what kind of jobs they want and then match that up with the programs. If you hire me for this job, I will go across the country and around the world to pull companies in here. I've negotiated and done business all across the country and across Europe, in Russia, China, Saudi Arabia, Brazil. I know the cultures of these countries, and I know the owners of these companies. Not all of them, but I know they are not looking just for tax breaks. They're looking for quality of life, which is what we have here in Western North Carolina. Now I want to go real briefly over the issues that are also very important besides just jobs. I support term limits. I believe one of the biggest problems we have in Washington right now are the professional politicians who don't know the value of a dollar. They never talk about money. They talk about budgets and revenue and taxes and deficits. Never use the term money. They're the reason we've got such a huge debt we've got now, because it's not real money to them. I support tax reform to simplify our tax code and get rid of all forms of social engineering. Social engineering means if I want you to do something, I give you a tax break, and if I don't want you to do it, I'm going to tax you. That's why our tax code is 70,000 pages long. Taxes should be for two things: to pay our bills and defend our country. And beyond that, it should not be any kind of an issue. Judicial reform. We need judges who get back to judging and not ruling on bad precedent. And tort reform to clear the courts of the frivolous lawsuits. We can do that with arbitration and loser pays. I support the Defense of Marriage Act. One man, one woman, traditional marriage. I am against all forms of abortion. I believe any idea conceived by God should be cared for in this lifetime. And I will stand up to political correctness. And the first stand I'll take is to affirm God in government. Not religion in government, but God in government. There was a famous poet back in the 20s and 30s, a guy named G.K. Chesterton, poet and philosopher. He wrote, "Once abolish the God, and the government becomes the God." And is this not what is happening in Washington now? We have a government that wants to abolish all reference to God, so we will come to it for all our needs. Every day I worry that we're losing the America our parents left us. I mean, when we were growing up, could we have imagined America would be borrowing money from a communist country? I mean, what in the world? Or that our economy would be dependent on the Middle East for our oil. We need to mine our coal, drill our oil, tap our natural gas, and build safe nuclear power plants to show the world that we are America, self-reliant and determining our own future. You all have a tremendous responsibility. This primary that's coming up, your vote will count more than at any other time, probably in your life. You need to look at the list of candidates and decide which one is the most qualified. If you were spending your own money, which one would you hire to turn our economy around, restore self-reliance to America, and bring jobs and prosperity to Western North Carolina? I'm asking you for this job. My name is Vance Patterson. I'm running for U.S. Congress, and I hope you'll hire me on May 8th.